economics, geography, they don't need to know your skin color, right? They just need to know the stronghold for our people. The strongholds for our people has always been these metropolises they call big cities, concrete jungles, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Houston, Dallas, Washington, Portland, Boise, Des Moines, all these big cities. This is where we go in our layer to communicate with each other, do business, and then we go back to Big Mama house or back to Mama house, right? Well, they start undermining us and they never stop bombing us. They was bombing us in our face and skewing the narrative to make us look criminal. Now, I did a video on Philadelphia move, and Sister Ramona Africa explained how they invaded them, but she didn't really go into the why part because they used a eviction as the pretense to put these people life out with bombs and bullets, right? The same thing they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Black Wall Street was not a street. Understand, it was an entire community of us that had been there. That's why everybody had money. We knew how to do business. We always have. They bombed Rosewood. They burned down Chicago. They flooded New Orleans out. They chopped down all of the trees. They attacked us at every front. So what do? We learned the game. So one of ours, by the name of Prince Hall, seen what the game was being played in our face, behind our back. He wanted to teach it to us. We need to get this information into the community where it's common knowledge, so common that they can't even hide it from us no more, right? And he couldn't get a charter for a Masonic lodge, and anybody looked like us from any Masonic lodge over here because he was barred out from skin folk that ain't kinfolk by folks that ain't got the same skin. It was an orchestrated plot. These people are called Moorish Zionist Jews or Tudors or conquistadors, right? So while this shit going on, Big Mama said, don't worry about it. My baby be here. He'll fix it. Just go and let them do what they want to do and keep a record. Long as they keep a record, let them do whatever they want to do, right? So we had to figure out a way to get some faces that didn't look like ours into those lodges, those institutions of higher learning, those academies, right? So what did we do? We went to the very people that beat the same dumbass niggas ass the first time. We ain't gonna make this shit hard. Bring a bunch of them motherfuckers over here, saturate their institutions. Once that happened, now we can get the secret out. So now, we got people that don't look like us being used by people that look like us and by us. So they being used as a pawn by both sides of the board. Right? They used by them so that when we figure it out, we supposed to go nuts, ham crazy, wake up from our slumber and just kill off everybody that's pink, calling ourselves killing the white man, never realizing that the white man is not white. His skin is not pale. White man is a position in law, right? And those who go file paperwork to sign treaty and alliance with the white man are signing agreement to oppress the original people on the land using this pretext, right? So the Moors and the dirty Moors are not the same. The Moors never tell you about you need no paperwork. But the dirty Moors tell you need to file this, get your nationality card, that, right? And then set your ass up to get 1,000 years in the penitentiary and put you so far up under the pen that they can't hear from your ass again, using that fraudulent paperwork in violation of these treaties that they already got signed, saying that you would be able to assert your sovereign right until the contract was up. So any of us who didn't take part in the contract, that had a sovereign right to assert our jurisdiction on the land, was either flat out murdered, tarred and feathered, lynched by motherfuckers look like us, wearing white sheets, and they riding around with a bunch of pale faces. And they called themselves in the South the Black Hand. And it was the most dreaded thing in the South to be at odds with the Black Hand. It was called the Black Hand because the hand looked like the same hand as those who were black. But it wasn't, because the people of the land feared them. You fear what you can't understand, because their magic is the fact that they can blend in with you. Camouflage is one of the premier eminent stratagems of war. Camouflage. And the best camouflage to infiltrate a people is to raise one up that look like them, that ain't them. Right? So when you read about in the history books that these Moors was marrying these slaves and having children by them, and they was teaching them to take allegiance to them. And that's why they forbade the mother line and only honor the father line. Because when you father the child by somebody, if you erase their mother line, there's no matriarchal connection. Therefore, they will never identify themselves as a matriarchal people. That's exactly why they created the races. A race has a beginning and an end, right? A race has a beginning and an end. Well, I'm here to tell you this is the end of all of the races. Because you're either human or you something else. And everything that look human, not human. Right? Everything that looks kinfolk ain't kinfolk. And everything that don't look kinfolk ain't always your enemy either. But it's some motherfuckers with the pink skin, just like it's some motherfuckers with the dark skin, can all get the same guillotine the same. Because they are classified collectively as the devil, the enemy. But the ones who are in the position of right, these what you call blood rights, blood ties to the land. What do they mean by blood ties to the land? That means that you organic to where you grew from. Your spirit was going to come back in whatever fucking body was on this bitch, suitable to facilitate your vibration so you can fix it. So the war came to us in 1492. So you see the banner that say 500 years of native resistance, 500 years of indigenous warfare, right? Now, this could have been over many times, but people like me was always killed on the ground, so they could never exercise the birthright, right? That's why our children in our communities die at an earlier age, right? All of these things also does something as a side effect. So we don't ever look at the side effect. We always look at the direct effect. Sometimes the side effect tells you the importance of the direct effect, of it allowing it to take place. The side effect of oppression is teenage pregnancy. Girls becoming pubescent at earlier and earlier ages. If girls come into puberty earlier, they have a more likelihood of producing children earlier. If they produce children earlier, that means that it's going to engage more of the elder women, because it got to be a condition where the men is minimized. These elder women in turn begin to teach the children how to resist based on the premises of the government they under. It don't matter what system they create. The law of nature will always adapt to that system to make it conform to the laws of nature when the right person is raised. Right? So now we are remolding this reality back to the laws of nature to override the laws of man. And these laws was the laws that governed the game and kept us in the subservient position. Right? So it's a set number of personalities any culture can produce, because the law of nature has a wired in hierarchy or caste system, right? This is how the idea of royalty ever came into place. Alpha lines is what they call. The alpha line is the line that consistently produce the best candidate to resolve whatever it is. Every time, consistently. No matter what the problem is, this bloodline is going to adapt to find the solution by producing an offspring wired with the solution in him. Right. It's like Skywalker Ash was just saying white in other countries means status or class in society. That is correct. And one of the ways when we've discovered how it was being used was, there's an Egyptian guy who came over here and they told him that he was white, right? And he didn't understand how he was being separated from us by him being called white and us being called black, which created a big uproar in the Middle East coming out of Egypt. But that's a whole nother story. The DNA test, if it's not a parental test, it's for entertainment purposes only. When you look in the fine print, it say this is for entertainment purposes only. I've seen a couple of them that said that. What that means is this: whatever narrative is required to steer the entertainment in the direction that the producer wants it to go, basically tell the story, he can control it. So they are notoriously not possible, first of all, to take your blood over here and say you related to somebody 1,000 miles away without having a sample of their blood as a control. And the way they doing it is they just telling people, send us your blood and we'll tell you your DNA, right? You might have found family with it, but that's an exception to the rule, because they tell you it's for entertainment purposes, right? So what they will do is they will allow you to find some family because they got some testimonial to the validity of their bullshit. No contracts. All contracts are slave contracts. They all got some shit in there. The fact that you making the contract automatically puts you in the creditor-debtor scenario. Baby Hoove. You got it, you got it. Where you calling from?
New Orleans.
From the NO. That's what's up. What brings you in today? What's your name?
There. My name is Rip.
Did you say Rip?
Rip.
RIF?
R.I.P.
Okay. Hey, look, that's what we used to call my nephew. So what you want to talk about today?
Whatever, bro. It's all on you, man. I'm trying to hear your knowledge.
You got any questions? You got anything you want to know about specifically?
Rules of the universe, karma.
I've been already talking about that. That's what most of the video about.
Karma.
Yeah, all that's part of the game.
Preach on it to me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take somebody else if they got some questions. You keep watching, and maybe we touch on some more, get some more detail about that with some of these other questions.
Facts.
All right, fam.
All right. Hold up.
Them 777s up in here. One with 3 7s in my head. What's going on, God?
Peace, God. How you doing? Appreciate
Good. Loving them dreads, boy.
it. Appreciate it. Now, hey, I cut it before because it was a spell casted on me. Back when my lost self, I didn't really know who I was. But, yo, about this game. So you said, the Europe black nobility conquistadors, like, when you, like, so how did they even like start? And like, can you just elaborate a little bit more on that? And I just want to know about the voodoo
Wait.
game.
Well, slow down. You say, how did they start? Start what?
Like with the infiltrate, like how did they infiltrate us? Like I
Okay,
know they
so
like us and shit. Like, go ahead.
okay, so when we go back to what our ancestors were saying, they was making agreements with us. They was marrying into our clans, right? But the whole time they had the intent to sell us out.
All right.
Right? That was their goal from the beginning. Now, they didn't only use one technique. They used the outright military attack, right? So you have to understand what Cortez was doing when he was slaughtering motherfuckers looking for Cordoba.
Cordoba, and that was one of our leaders.
Cordoba was the city of gold.
City, okay. Cordoba was the city of gold.
Okay,
And
now.
Cordoba was in the, like on this land right here that we in right now.
It was the city it was the Atlantean city that flew away.
Okay.
They call it the Crystal City in the Bible.
Okay, Crystal City. Crystal City. And then one more joint, like you said, it's a voodoo game. And if you're not, you need to be tapped into that. So can you like, because I don't really know how to, but the researching thing, it's hard to really research stuff because I don't really know what is real and what's not.
Listen.
Go ahead.
The voodoo game that they was playing, Conjure War, is high magic. Because I know high magic, I can see it when it's being done.
Okay.
I know that they told us that voodoo was evil, wicked, and we should stay away from it.
Right.
But I also know that we was doing voodoo thousands of years before they brought a Bible.
Facts.
Now, I also know that when they brought their Bible was when they decided that voodoo was something they didn't want us to know. When I studied voodoo, I found that voodoo is the application of the laws of nature to manifest your best life.
Okay.
Right?
And voodoo.
That's the purpose of it.
Uh-huh.
Now, people became selfish and started using something called low magic. Low magic is using base elemental magic to control other people. Right?
Right.
So they was taking low magic and they was using low magic on a mass scale.
That's basically right. like cold lockdown. Low magic.
Yep. Okay, now, while the people are being victimized by the low magic, they doing something to keep the higher ranking of the people in a narcotic state. It's called bloodletting rituals.
Bloodletting rituals.
Right. Because angels in human form don't like the smell of blood, and the adrenaline from adrenochrome makes them senselessly angry.
Okay.
And they'll just start tearing up shit.
All right.
But the bloodletting ritual keeps them narcotized. Kingu, that's exactly the spell called Kingu. The Nuwabians identified the name of it.
Okay.
Okay, so once you start using voodoo, the spell can't work on you. Because you're finding balance with yourself as the first frame of reference. And as soon as one of us balance out to the laws of nature perfect, she using us. Ain't no question about it.
Right.
I've been waiting on one of y'all.
Right.
Right? So now you start coming out of the spell in reverse. You can smell the blood in the atmosphere of the children, the slaughterhouses, the mass bloodletting rituals. Right? You can smell it in the atmosphere. It's repugnant. It's like smelling it's not like a repellent like a skunk. It's like smelling real strong urine.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
In a real hot place with very low ventilation.
Yeah, so that's shit.
And it give you a migraine headache. And
So
it make